A homeowner in Massachusetts just called me. His power went out at 9 p.m. during an ice storm. By 3 a.m., his Tesla Powerwall hit zero. His brand new heat pump shut off. He's standing in his kitchen in a bathrobe watching the temperature drop to 58 degrees. His solar installer told him one Powerwall would handle everything. Tesla batteries are amazing, they said. You'll be totally fine. That installer was wrong. So can a Powerwall 3 run a heat pump all winter? I'm going to show you why that's actually the wrong question and what you should be asking instead. Hey everyone, welcome back to Integrate Sun. If this is your first time here, I don't sell batteries. I just show you the math that most installers conveniently skip over. Tesla says the Powerwall 3 holds 13.5 kilowatt hours and delivers 11.5 kilowatts of continuous power. Great numbers. Love to see it. But watch what happens when you plug in real-world winter usage. That same Massachusetts home I mentioned? On a typical November day, not even December, just November, they used 45 kilowatt hours. Some homes in New England hit 60 kilowatt hours when it gets really cold. I've seen a home in Colorado pull 70 kilowatt hours in a single day during a polar vortex at negative 13 degrees. Now here's the trap. Those are daily numbers, but your solar panels only work during the day. At night, you're 100% on battery. So let's say the sun goes down at 5 p.m. and comes back up at 7 a.m. That's 14 hours of darkness. If your home needs 60 kilowatt hours per day in winter, somewhere between 30 to 40 of those kilowatt hours are happening overnight while you're asleep. One Powerwall 3, 13.5 kilowatt hours. Do you see the problem? But it gets worse, because your heat pump doesn't use power evenly throughout the night. Most installers size your battery based on your summer electric bill. That's insane. Here are the three factors they're ignoring. Number one, temperature absolutely destroys heat pump efficiency. At 30 degrees, a good heat pump might have a COP, that's coefficient of performance, of 3.0, meaning it produces 3 watts of heat for every 1 watt of electricity. Pretty efficient. At 5 degrees, that same heat pump drops to a COP of 2.2. At negative 13 degrees, down to 1.6. Same heat output, wildly different electricity consumption. On a mild 30-degree night, your heat pump might pull 2 kilowatts. On a negative 10-degree night, could be 5 kilowatts. That's over twice the power for the same amount of heat. So when an installer says one Powerwall will be fine, ask them, fine at what temperature? Number two, your home's insulation matters way more than you think. Two identical houses, same square footage, same heat pump. One is well insulated, the other is drafty. The drafty house can use 75% more electricity to stay at the same temperature. It's like filling a bathtub with the drain open. More insulation equals less battery drain. Simple as that. Number three, you're designing for the wrong scenario. Here's what's actually smart. You don't need to design your battery to handle the absolute coldest night of the century. You need to design it to handle the coldest night that's likely to coincide with a power outage. In Massachusetts, the design temperature might be negative 5 degrees, but you know when the power actually goes out? During ice storms when it's 20 degrees, or winter wind events when it's 15 degrees? Huge difference. At 20 degrees, your heat pump is way more efficient. You might only need 2 Powerwalls instead of 5. Quick technical sidebar, the Powerwall 3 has something called a load start capability of 185 LRA. That's locked rotor amps. Why do you care? Because when your heat pump's compressor kicks on, it needs a massive surge of power, like 5 to 7 times its normal running current, for just a split second. Most batteries freak out and either fail to start the compressor or damage themselves trying. The Powerwall 3 handles it without breaking a sweat. This is actually a huge deal that most people don't appreciate. A lot of battery systems simply can't reliably run heat pumps. The Powerwall 3 can. So how many Powerwalls do you actually need? Let me give you a real example. Rochester, Minnesota. Design temperature negative 12 degrees. That's cold. Like really cold. At that temperature, we tested different heat pump systems. The air source heat pumps needed between 6 and 17 kilowatts of power just to keep up. One of them literally shut off. Couldn't even run. Over a 14-hour winter night at negative 12, you're looking at over 200 kilowatt hours needed. That's 15 Powerwalls. Nobody's installing 15 Powerwalls. But here's the thing. You're not designing for negative 12. You're designing for realistic outage scenarios, probably 15 to 20 degrees. At 17 degrees, that same heat pump draws about 2.7 kilowatts. Over 14 hours, that's 38 kilowatt hours just for heating. Add your fridge, lights, a well pump, call it 45 kilowatt hours total overnight. Now we're talking 3 to 4 Powerwalls. That's actually doable. And here's the smart move. For those once-a-decade extreme cold outages, keep a small propane heater as backup. It might run 10 hours per year total, but it means you're never truly without heat. Okay, one more critical thing. Can your solar panels even recharge your batteries in winter? Because if you drain 45 kilowatt hours overnight and can't fully recharge the next day, you're screwed on night 2 of an outage. A 10 kilowatt solar system in Massachusetts might generate 25 kilowatt hours on a sunny December day. Sounds good. But you're also running your house during the day, maybe another 15 kilowatt hours. So you generated 25, used 15 during the day, stored 10, but you needed to store 45 for tonight. See the problem? You need a bigger solar array, probably 15 to 18 kilowatts, to fully recharge your batteries on the shortest winter days while also powering your house. Most solar companies size your system to offset your annual usage. That's fine if you just want to save money on your bill, but if you want true backup power in winter, you need to size for the worst case day, not the average year. Here's something wild. If you swap out your air source heat pump for a ground source heat pump, all these battery calculations get way easier. Ground source heat pumps pull heat from the earth about 50 degrees year round instead of the freezing air. So even at negative 12 degrees outside, they maintain a COP of 3.5 or higher. Same Rochester home, same negative 12-degree night. Ground source system draws only 6 kilowatts instead of 16. Over 14 hours, that's 84 kilowatt hours instead of 224. Suddenly, 2 or 3 Powerwalls work instead of 4 or 5. Now, ground source costs way more upfront, sometimes double or triple. But if battery backup is your priority, the math might actually work in your favor because you need fewer batteries. So, can a Powerwall 3 run a heat pump all winter? One Powerwall, only if you have a tiny, super efficient home in a mild climate. 2 to 3 Powerwalls, yeah, that'll handle most homes in cold climates during typical winter outages. 4 Powerwalls? Now you're bulletproof, even in extreme cold with a whole home heat pump system. If you're planning solar plus battery plus heat pump, do these 3 things. First, get a professional heat loss calculation. It's called a manual J that tells you exactly how much heat you need at design temperature. Second, look at your actual winter electric bills. Find your peak day in January or February. That's your battery sizing baseline. Third, talk to someone who will actually do the math. At Integrate Sun, we'll show you exactly how many Powerwalls you need based on your real data, not what's easiest to sell. We'll walk through the overnight loads, the solar recharge scenarios, and what a properly sized system actually costs versus one that leaves you freezing. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being prepared for what's actually likely to happen, with a backup plan for everything else. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if this was helpful, and check out our video on sizing solar panels for Powerwalls. Because if you're buying batteries, you better have enough solar to charge them. See you in the next one.